All right, Tomboy Official. Good morning. What is up? I've had some C4. I'm gonna give it till. I don't want to give it too long. Um, I had it almost 10 minutes ago. Um, I'm gonna keep this a little short so I can try to get in a morning workout, guys. I am. I don't want to say that I'm trying to lead by example, but you know, this year I feel like I've definitely done a lot of deconstructing, and I don't think I'm gonna have another year with this much flexibility, unless uh any of these side gigs, not like the mystery shopping stuff, but or Uber Eats or anything like that, but unless any of these side gigs turn out to be, um, something that's gonna lead to, um, you know, excuse me, unless the side gigs lead me to be able to uh like you know stay flexible. And I'm learning a lot. I think I can get there, but the learning curve is pretty steep, and technology changes so much, online platforms change so much, and so having to rely on those to make money um isn't a pleasant experience. But it's not bad either. So but I kind of just want to talk about that combo of stress, health. I think we always need constant reminders, and um, like I would say, um, oh man, I um, so I'll just describe yesterday. Yesterday wasn't too eventful. It was Sunday. Time changed. I did do some Uber Eats delivering. I was probably out and about for like an hour and a half. Uh, it logged me about just under an hour, like 59 minutes or something. So, I've calculated that if I get about 9 minutes, 9 hours of tracked, um, nine tracked, hours. Like, so basically, when you're driving, they track your hours just in general from when you have the app on, and then they count your hours between, say if I get an order and I press yes, I want to accept this $8 order or whatever, and then from the time you accept it, from wherever you're at, driving to the restaurant and then driving from the restaurant to drop it off at somebody's house, that's the time that they actually count towards the Prop 22 earnings. And so every second Monday or Sunday or so, they'll give you those Prop 22 earnings. So I've realized that like about 9 hours of that gets about $113 extra um, per $113 extra per um, pay period, I guess, if you call it every second Monday or whatever, every second Sunday or second Monday or whatever. So that's on top of what you get daily. So say if I was gonna get $8 for that first delivery, um, they're not counting in, my mileage and the time it takes as far as the part of the city's minimum wage. They're not counting that for the 20 or so minutes that it takes to go from maybe from my house, ideally, to go pick something up. Like yesterday, I went from my house to a restaurant literally across the street, and then when I was there, I got a second order for the same person that was like a few miles, let's call it 3 miles away. Picked up that order for them and then dropped them both at one house. So that was kind of interesting. I'd never done that before, but and then I took a second order right near my house. It was like the block behind my house. Um, and so it kept me in the area, but I was like, I'm already so close to home. I might as well just go home at this point. Like, I actually dropped over by Jersey Mike's, which is like maybe a mile and a half away, and got a sandwich and then came home and ate that. So I only really did like two orders because I was like, I'm already near home. Like, I don't want them to send me somewhere else. And like by that time, it was like 1 p.m. So that's basically all I drove yesterday. I didn't drive as much as I wanted, but I did turn on the app while I was like finishing like brushing my teeth and getting out of the bathroom, and like the car was already packed with what I needed. I had my gym bag cuz my plan was, work out after 3 hours of delivering, but I just wasn't feeling like my top um energy. Maybe TMI, but I had a little bit of cramps starting yesterday. That was kind of annoying. It only lasted like a couple hours maybe. But I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. So I just was like, let me not overdo this and let me just go home and eat and just relax. So I started rewatching Downton Abbey. Not the happiest of shows, but and there's a show coming out. I don't know if it's a show or movie called Harriet, about Harriet Tubman. I want to watch that. So, anyways, that's kind of about as far as I got. I skipped my workout yesterday, but I had the intentions to do it. I just wasn't physically feeling as well as I had wanted to feel. Um, and so I just came home and relaxed, and that helped. I felt better, but it wasn't a very active day yesterday, you know. And it's Sunday. It's like, okay, give yourself a break. It's like, goodness, you don't have to overdo it. But today is Monday, so I'm hoping to do the lunch deliveries before then. I'm hoping to work out, hydrate, eat breakfast, probably figure out what I want to do for lunch because I'll be in the car. And that's another habit I don't want to get into is buying lunch out every day. Uh, that's hard because I'm already out like picking up food and delivering it. So sometimes it's like, man, that chicken smells good or like that pizza smells good. And I'm just like, and it's during my lunchtime. So it's like I really have to be careful and bring snacks and stuff and bring enough to eat so that I can eat cuz there are breaks like you can take a break, you can take a pit stop break or just you can take as many pit stop breaks as you want or you can um just uh um yeah, you can do that or uh just follow along with what is kind of expected. Um and just keep on driving. Like you can drive while you eat. It's not that hard to do. I've done it for a long time by this point. Um I mean, how hard is it really to pack like a peanut butter sandwich? Like that's not that hard to do. Uh Granola bars, a boiled egg, you know, some chopped up veggies or pieces of fruit and stuff. Like this easy stuff you can just eat while you're driving. Um, Especially when you're driving like mostly like residential areas, it's like you're not going high speeds or anything. So yeah, but yeah, today I'll get back to that a little bit. I've got some videos I want to create for the store The store is getting about 40 views per day, 40 visitors per day, so that's cool. Clearly, the products on there are not ideal because nobody's buying them, so it's like, geez, it's kind of a low blow, but I gotta find, products, so this is kind of my idea that I'm going into like the crafting kind of community of things and trying to create, just some form of content around that and seeing if I'll be able to do better at making sales um, with content, with crafting and stuff like that. So um, that's kind of one of my goals, but uh, it's I got to think it out a little bit more. Um, it's kind of funny because I go to like music festivals, raves, and sometimes you get these little like trinkets, like those little plur like bracelets and stuff like that. I kind of keep them as souvenirs, but I was kind of wondering if I should like sell some of them or post some of them to sell because it's not like I'm wearing them or anything. And I think people like that kind of stuff, so I don't really know. Like, I'm not really like too knowledgeable about that kind of stuff, and it's not really a genre or niche of topics that I really like too much, like making bracelets, friendship bracelets, that kind of thing. Um, but anyways, uh, let's talk about this though. Let's talk about some of these stress level topics. I'm gonna go out and say a lot of people are stressed lately, myself included. A lot of people are experiencing health problems, health changes. I have a theory with a friend of mine that we kind of talked about, kind of saying that, maybe those, I mean, this is going to get this episode like um, not even, uh, it's going to limit the attractiveness of this episode if I say this, but we all know during the Rona, we had to get some kind of medicine. We'll put it that way. Let's not use the actual wording because, I mean, these people, you know, they will ban your content or not let your content get promoted. You're not really allowed to talk about the illness. So when we all were, not everybody got it. I was surprised. There were a few people I know who didn't get it. Now I can't say that those people aren't having health issues. One of them is having a lot of issues. So I don't really know if that theory holds. I mean, I'm just, if you think sample size, that's too small of a sample size to really say. But almost everyone I know got that, medicine. And a lot of people I know are having all kinds of issues. Um, and I'm just curious, about it. Just, it's potentially, maybe there was something in it that had some kind of delayed effect. Um, I think I mentioned before, my arm was sore for like over a year. It wasn't like in like severe pain, but there was like a tenderness for a long time. Uh, Actually, I can still feel if I put pressure, I can feel the area where I got that medicine. So it's kind of weird that I can still feel it. Uh, it's really weird that I can still feel it. Uh, and it didn't hurt when I got it. Like the first time I got it, I thought that they were still like wiping down the area, like the disinfecting and stuff. I didn't even know that they had finished it. They just started telling me, "Oh, hold pressure on here," and like they were putting on like a band-aid, and I was just like, I didn't even know that they did it. And then the second time it was just quick and easy. Like I felt it, but it I wouldn't call it painful. For me it wasn't pain. Like I felt it, but it wasn't I wouldn't classify it as any kind of pain. Um like it wasn't severe at all. Uh so I don't know. Like I'm just a little curious about it cuz it's something weird. I don't know anything about these types of topics. Um but that was just one thing. And then um yeah, I guess I would say I don't really know like if I believe that there were like a lot of issues. Um like clearly there are side effects and stuff, but whatever. But I don't know, maybe it's stress as well cuz stress makes people's bodies and minds do weird things. And so it's hard to tell if that is what it is, because the last few years have not been easy for a lot of people. And then this year of 2023, I mean, we can be grateful it's almost done, but um, it's been a trying year for many people. So it's really hard to tell what exactly people are gonna have going on with this kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like plan out my weeks and make it kind of, you know, focused on what I need to do. Um, it's still kind of hard for me to live with somebody who doesn't make the same, have the same idea of like health conscious choices of eating. Um, I watched this video. You guys probably know the content creator Amber's Closet. She's LGBT, has a lot of good content out there. One of her more recent videos is her cooking with her dad. They're making oxtail and ham hocks or greens, cornbread. I think they made corn. I don't know if the corn was for the cornbread or I think because they were shucking corn at one point. So I think they cooked some corn and made all kinds of food together. And it was kind of funny because, Amber was talking to her dad, like, they're kind of like a lot of banter back and forth and stuff. And, you know, uh, she has stuff like some things I never heard of, like, uh, what was it? Like, uh, I'm blanking on what, like coconut sugar. Um, she had some kind of, I think she had some cool looking heirloom tomatoes. Um, some beet juice, like that's stuff I know about. Like she was talking about washing greens in apple cider vinegar and baking powder to get stuff off of it, and um, just the different stuff. Watch the video if you want to. It's kind of cool to see, because the reason why I'm mentioning that is because, like, I think about my family members, my older family members, and just kind of what they eat. Like sometimes they send me pictures of their foods and stuff, um, what they eat, um, and it's rarely healthy. It's almost never healthy, and you know, I'm not saying that I'm like the healthiest eating person. Like I ate, the other day on Saturday, I got us double burgers from In and Out with fries. And yesterday I had Jersey Mike's. Like it's stuff like that where it's like, okay, like if I'm gonna eat takeout, like I'm a little particular with it. It's mostly like a price range thing. Jersey Mike's to me is a little expensive, like over $10 for like a sub. Like that's ridiculous in my opinion, but they taste good, and I wanted that vinegar flavor. Mike's Way, they have a lot of like oil vinegar, that kind of like vinegar, you know. I didn't get the pickles and stuff, but they have other stuff that you can get. There's like that vinegar base that I kind of like on their sandwiches that you don't usually get on other sandwiches. Um, and I don't know how well vinegar is for your health, but I do feel like, there was something that I ate that helped me intestinally. So that was good. And then I don't know, I just think overall I need to be eating more fiber, but um yeah, it's kind of it can be difficult to work with the health things. Like I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so hopefully they can kind of, you know, uh school me on some things. Um like I want to talk to them about nutrition, um cuz it's something that's, it's important to me, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. Like with some of the modern stuff, I don't want to be spending like an arm and a leg on food either, but I'm not gonna be going to like Erewhon or whatever that store is, or like Whole Foods and stuff like that, and just like breaking the bank. But I think Sprouts is fine. Like I feel like Sprouts is like affordable enough for people who use EBT. They take it. Um, I think as long as you're not getting like the pre-made stuff, like all of their like fruits, vegetables, um, I feel like they're way better quality than like Ralph's and Vaughn's. Like they almost never have them like moldy. I feel like whenever I get stuff from Ralph's and Vaughn's, I just get so irritated that they always bury these like moldy strawberries, or like within a day or two they get moldy. Like they don't taste good. Everything tastes like it's got way too much water in it. Everything is gigantic and doesn't look normal. It's like over over, you know, hormonal fruits or whatever. Like strawberries should not be as big as an apple. Like that's not normal. Or like, I remember I used to go to a church where they would just, I was grateful, they got us food for like the dinner that they would have for their potluck after the service, and um everyone would kind of eat together, and I remember they would get these chickens from, I don't know, whatever was the closest grocery store, probably like a Ralph's or something like that. And it would be like those pre-made chickens in the plastic container, and like, or like pieces of fried chicken, and they were so big that like the drumsticks were so big. I was like, is this turkey? Like it was so big. I'm like, there's no way there's a chicken that's this size, that's got like thighs like this. It's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of like chickens. It's like this thing is massive. Like that chicken must have been as big as a small turkey. Like it was big. And I was like, I don't know if we're supposed to be eating this. Like it's one thing if it's like once in a while, but every day it's like, and then even thinking about like hair care, skin care, soap, the things we put on our bodies, it's like we're just absorbing just constant like chemicals, hormones, just like stuff that's not good for you. And there was someone who was talking about research, but I don't remember if it was someone talking to Osho or Sadhguru. There was some podcast. I want to say it was Sadhguru. They were talking to about this issue with the, what do you call it? What do you call like the vitamins and stuff that are in, like the vitamin quality and like the health quality of actual fruits and vegetables. They were saying that like it's going down. So they were saying like maybe in like the 1940s or whatever, you could eat a tomato or an orange and get like a lot of the vitamins that you needed. But nowadays, a lot of the common fruits and vegetables that you're coming across, you'd have to eat like 12 of them or like some ridiculous amount just to get the same amount of vitamins, because there's less vitamins. There's something going on with the soil. And I don't really know about that kind of stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's true. It might be true, it might not. I really don't know. But I was just like, man, if that's the case, then even if we are eating healthy food, we have to be eating so much more of it just to get the actual vitamin. So if you're not taking like some kind of supplement, then how are you really getting all the vitamins? And if you're not going out of your way to eat the organic stuff and you're eating the ones pumped with chemicals, which are usually cheaper, you get more for less money. So that makes more sense. Nowadays, people want that because nobody has money. And it's easier to find, it's easier to get. It's everywhere. Like there's more Ralphs than there are Sprouts. There's more Vons than there are Sprouts. And they have organic sections, but it's not the majority of their food. So these big corporations have these like nasty habits, and then we're eating all this stuff because we just have to eat. We have to eat multiple times a day, and so we're not getting the nourishment we need, even from basic food. And then what's in the water, who knows? With that, like we've all heard about the water being not good enough, and I'm not saying worry about it, but it's something to research and learn because I'm thinking, if everyone's having health issues, stress issues, cortisol issues, where you can't like come down from the day's stress, and everybody's having all these other mental health problems coming up, and, physical ailments and all this stuff, there's got to be something to it more than just like, oh, like it's just a rough year. Like, I kind of worry that, potentially it's all the combination of things I mentioned or just some of them. If we're not getting the health products that we need, the vitamins that we need, and we're not educated about it, you know, or we have doctors that aren't going to talk to us about organic and like holistic things, they're just like, take this thing. And I'm not anti, Western medicine. I'm just anti lack of education about it. Like, I feel like doctors don't always give you the right education. They don't tell you all the side effects. They don't tell you, why is my body rejecting this? Why do I even need this in the first place? Why do I have this deficiency? Like, they try to change certain things, but it's not always the case. So it doesn't always work. So, it's important. It's important to think about the health. It's important to think about, what's actually going on here. All that's important. And a lot of times it's really going to be hard to get where we need to get that information that we're looking for. Um to find the answers to stuff, because we really might need answers. you know and I think a lot of us don't have answers. It just seems like, okay, you wake up, you don't feel good, but why don't I feel good? If I slept decently, even, uh why don't I feel good? That doesn't make any sense, to just wake up and just already not be feeling too well. And then when I'm going through my day, like, why are my stress levels peaking at certain times? Why is my energy crashing at certain times? These are like simple things to think about that we all experience. It's like, well, why is that happening? What did I do that caused that? Or what's been going on that caused that? Um, if I'm trying to sleep at night, why can't I sleep? Why do I feel emotionally the way that I feel? There are things that we can do to kind of alter these other things, but it's like, well, we don't really know how. Why am I foggy? Why can't I function without caffeine? I mean, not being able to function without caffeine, not being able to have your mind, sharp, and, your processing speeds fast, and your mind clear, that's not normal. It's not normal to have to use caffeine to kind of like get going in the morning. I mean, I do. You guys know. I start recording on here and I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking coffee, or I just had some C4, which I did have a while ago, because I'm about to work out in the garage, get some cardio in. But why? Why? Just keep asking yourself why. And then once you kind of realize all the areas, and what you do that kind of helps it, if you can figure that out, just how I've mentioned before, that like, okay, like, it's not like I love exercising that much, but I feel better afterwards. I don't feel as irritable. I don't feel as um tense, you know. So it helps me to some extent just to do it. And I know that I'm supposed to do it. Like, we all know at least the basics of what we're supposed to do. Are we even doing the basics? Are we even hydrating? Are we even sleeping enough? Are we hydrating enough? Are we eating the basic food groups enough? I mean, just getting the basics down first, you know. Are we getting that 30 minutes of cardio 5 times a week or whatever it may be? Are we even doing like the basics that the doctors say, or what you learn when you're like 5 years old with like the food pyramids and all that? Like, and there's always controversy around that too, but it's like, are you doing it? You know, um, if you're not doing that the majority of the time, like, how would you expect to feel well? You know, if you're not doing it even half of the time, how would you expect to feel well? You know, so that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Like, you know, something's got to give at a certain point, but right, that's all for this morning. Hopefully, it's good food for thought. Um, I gotta get into this workout before the day goes on too much longer. It's 8:25 a.m. I hope to be working out by 8:30. This is gonna be brutal because I haven't had breakfast yet. Uh, Pre-breakfast workouts are rough, but I'll get it out of the way and I'll be able to move on. I'll be done hopefully by 9 a.m. All right. Thanks for listening on here, guys.